The Lake Forest Podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Looking for the best pool supplies? Look no further than Dohany's Pool Supplies. With a history dating back to 1967, this family-owned business offers everything families need to keep their pools clean and sparkling, from chemicals to equipment. Plus, customers enjoy free shipping on all orders. Visit Dohany's Pool Supplies today at doheny.com, DOHENY.com, to learn more. Broker Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.
Good morning. Back to the thinking cap.
Yeah, I got some more thinking going on here.
No fezzing?
This is around. That tassel tickles.
Don't you hate a tickling tassel?
That's what she said. What's going on in town?
I don't know. All quiet on the Western Front out here. I guess no news is the good news, right?
Well, Josh McBroom, I took the week to do a little studying, little thinking on him. And you are correct. He was mocking. And then I saw him on our guy, Dan Proft, Morning Answer, and he spent about 10 minutes with him. And I was not the only one. He got a lot of crap from a lot of people because of his deadpan, and that was good. So
sarcasm goes over a lot of people's heads. I've learned that over the years.
Is that what you call it? Sarcasm?
Well, you maybe there's a better word than sarcasm, but
tone deaf.
When you say things in a mocking tone, there are people that get it, and then there's people that goes
right over their fez.
Yeah.
So are we going to get that dude on? Are we going to talk to him?
I sent him a message, and we'll see. I reached out to a mutual friend, and I think he's getting a lot of interview requests, Pete.
Yeah, but it's not from the Lake Forest podcast.
I understand, but he represents Naperville, not
all right.
Forest.
If I gotta do all the heavy lifting, I will.
I'll try again. He was on Proft.
Great.
I think he's been on Fox News.
That same day he did. I didn't watch that.
I didn't see it either, but I mean, he's making the rounds on the conservative shows, and um, you know, I, at the end of the day, I don't know what Naperville's actually doing. He
They said
is
they will not do a sign-up sheet.
right. Well, I mean, he is one of, I don't know how many council members they have there, but um, there's a time for speaking and there's a time for governing, and
You know who I could see doing that here in the Lake Forest City Council? Freshlack.
I don't know about that one. I think Jim takes his job seriously, and he's got a few months left though. So who knows? Maybe on his way out, that'll be his parting shot at his critics or the caucus's critics or
But I
whatever you want to
mean,
call
at the time, it's not the shot. You take somebody at their word and you look at the transcript because that's what will be looked at over time. And
it. But did you read that New York Times article I sent you? And no, I don't subscribe to the New York
then how
Times.
did you read it?
I clicked on it. I clicked on the link in Capital Facts and it opened up. I think you get like 4 free articles a month from them
Uh,
before you have to pay. I
New
don't
York.
know. I'm not going to pay for
Okay,
New York
give me the
Times.
synopsis. Give me the
Well,
base.
it talked about all the Wilmette actually is like there are people who are volunteering to welcome them and bring them supplies. And one of the and then towards the end of the article, they quoted a woman who lives in Lake Forest, and but she's bringing supplies to Highland Park. I didn't recognize the name. I don't know if I can find it again offhand here,
It's
but
public information.
yeah,
Well,
it
I
was
mean,
in
if
that.
you
It's,
bring
it's a
it
New
to,
York Times article. The gist of the article is Wilmette, but it does reference Highland Park and this woman and talking about how I guess this is happening in other metropolitan. It's not just Chicago, but New York City and some other big
well,
cities
the
that
food
now
bank,
the city is saying you can't come in anymore or you have to follow these procedures. So the bus drivers drive to suburbs and just drop them off and take off.
but she must be dropping food off at the food banks because back even last summer they were getting overwhelmed and they had to have no more walk-ups or whatever at the church here in town.
Well, I mean, there is, when the economy's bad, people hurt.
Uh, that's a great soundbite. I'm sure you'll get on Lake County Gazette with that. But
Apparently, I'm becoming a regular contributor there,
you are.
unbeknownst to me.
They
I
got
love the
you.
Gazette. It's great paper.
Yeah, then where's
It's
Brian?
read. We're working on that one. Come
You're
on.
working on a lot of things. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, Pete. Good things take time. You don't rush the cookies out of the oven or a good cake out of the oven.
This
All
is a
right, you gotta
microwave,
wait.
dude. It's a microwave. All
Yeah,
right.
have you had a microwave cake?
Have I? Yeah. Have you had an
Oh,
easy bake oven cake baked by a fine
I don't know.
light
I
bulb?
can't eat any of that stuff anymore now, but
Of which there was a controversy because kids were sticking their hands in there and touching that 200-watt light bulb, burning their fingers.
ouch.
Then they took the light bulbs out, and then the cakes didn't cook correctly, and they put I guess they got a special light bulb to put in there now. Just saying.
LED maybe, or I don't know.
LED does not cook. But
Well,
no, I mean you are let's see. All right, there's our guy Casey or Lacker,
yeah.
and our fine supporters of the show. No charge. Um, but we like that, Brian. Come on and you know, like to
Talk
help
about the
out.
Gazette. You don't want to unpeel too much of what goes behind the curtain at the Gazette. I think part of the magic of the
What's going
Gazette is
on?
you
The Gazette
don't.
Gazette needs content.
I don't ask questions. My name shows up in the paper. Thank you. Lake Forest podcast in the newspaper. Thank you.
You're an extremist,
Mailed to every house.
right?
Is it mailed to every house? They didn't call me an extremist. Who called me an extremist?
Everybody calls you an extremist. You're a
Ex
right-wing
oh,
extremist.
okay, sure.
So
I guess from a couple of weeks ago would beg to differ with that, but all right.
So that 11 million, I was right on the 11 million. Biden said, okay, here's 11 million. Who's going to sign up for it? And I guess there's a bunch of catches with it that like, no, people are like, you know what? I don't think so. Right? Do you know more about it?
First of all, 11 a million is a drop in the bucket. I think the city has spent way more than that. The city of Chicago has
Yeah.
spent way more than that already. So you know, this is a tragedy on many levels, as we've talked about on previous shows.
We know.
So this is a classic case of government not being able to manage.
Oh, there's your next.
You got to elect people that know how to manage things.
Okay. So getting back to the city, BJ, Brandon Johnson. Do you see the high school kids in there? What?
The people that are calling for the ceasefire and um, don't get it. They just don't get it, or they don't want to get it.
Go to New
And
Orleans and division and ask for a ceasefire.
yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, they should try to get a ceasefire in Chicago first, but the whole ceasefire in Israel, in the Middle East thing is nonsense. Israel should not cease fire. Israel should cease Hamas, is what they should do. And the U.S. should cease Iran from aiding Hamas and these other terrorist actors out there. To just say, okay, we're going to have peace and we're going to have all the hostages come home is really, really naive.
So these high school kids, they must be like, who's feeding them the intel to go and sit? They're probably cutting class.
There's a whole fight at the Chicago City Council over some ceasefire resolution.
Well, that's why they were there.
Some alderman had another ordinance they was going to put up about something else, and he said, "You know what? I'm waiting because this meeting is going to suck up the whole meet. This ceasefire thing is going to suck up the whole meeting, and we won't have time to deal with my ordinance. So we'll wait till a future meeting for my ordinance." So that's really absolutely crazy for a resolution. I always, back when I was a trustee, I hated these these resolutions on issues. And people would come to us and say, the council or the board should pass a resolution about this or that. It's like, stick to doing your job. If you're on the city council, run the city. Don't worry about what's going on in the Middle East. That's what we elect congressmen for and senators and stuff, and presidents.
What do you get for a resolution? A certificate?
It's to look good. It's to do one of these.
Is it like a LinkedIn certificate?
It's to pump up your base. And look, the base of the Democratic Party is not with Israel. Okay, Joe Biden is giving them aid, and Brad Schneider is supporting them for the most part. I'll give both of them credit on that. But the base of the Democrat, when you get beyond them and a couple other people, the base of the Democratic Party is nuts. They're just as bad as the base of the Republican Party at times. I mean, to equate what Israel is doing in defense of itself with what Hamas did on October 7th, anybody that makes that comparison or equation has no idea what they're talking about.
So what did they do on October 7th? It
was the worst attack on Jews since World War II.
Okay.
I mean, 1,000 civilians were killed.
How many? 1,000?
Over, I think 1,200.
All right, 1,200. And how many have been killed since then?
Who knows? With the Palestinian government, you can't trust anything they say. They say it's 25,000, but then there's video, Pete, of they're showing people that supposedly were killed in an Israeli attack, and then you see the guy move and get up. They're actors in some cases. Now, I'm not saying that there's been no Palestinians killed, but I can't trust the thing that the Palestinian Authority says. So the fact of the matter is that any civilian in Gaza or Palestinian that is killed in this, that's on Hamas and Palestine and Iran. They're using them as human shields. The Israeli government does everything it can to protect civilians. The Palestinians put them in the way. They put all their strategic stuff underneath hospitals and schools and childcare centers so that the Israelis have no choice but to attack those things because it's to protect themselves. Israel does not seek this war,
So
but
you got
Israel was dragged
gangbangers that
into
are
it.
sending out minors to do the killings because they're a
Yeah, I
banger. So
mean,
what?
look, though that's bad too, no question. But
Okay.
it's a
It's
little
not
you
marketed
can't.
as the same way.
It's not the same thing though, Pete. It is not genocide on a mass scale, which is what Iran is doing through its proxies. And they just killed three U.S. Troops. Forgive me, I don't know which branch of the service. I think they were the Army, but I could be wrong on that. But three of our soldiers were just killed by a drone attack by one of these groups that's funded by Hamas, by Iran.
Where
So this just
where
happened this past week in the Middle
no where
East,
where?
somewhere in the Middle East. Forgive me, I don't know exactly where. I
All right.
think
So all right, so it's a marketing thing.
so. It's not more than a marketing thing. It's war, Pete. I mean, this is a war.
Hey, take your family down to the south side.
Look, I get that. I know you've made
No,
that
do a
comparison
walk
a few
around.
times.
That's what I'm saying. What you're saying is
Yeah.
their lives are worth more than the ones in.
No, 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 Pete. That's now you're falling into like a liberal trap here
Not a
of.
liberal trap. I'm just saying it's the
Are you
media.
saying we shouldn't do anything with Israel? We
No,
should cut off U.S. aid to Israel?
what
That'd
I'm
be a
saying
terrible
is
mistake.
no. In fact, I think Elon Musk came out with a quote about the media when he calls them all liars, is because you get to pick and choose what you want to market as important or the news. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, Elon Musk says some really bright things, and then he just says some really dumb things sometimes. So
Well, he
I
just
don't
got
know.
56 billion turned down at Delaware. He's all pissed at Delaware. He says, don't incorporate in Delaware.
I always thought that was the place corporations went to dodge taxes. I don't know enough about it. That's Joe Biden's home state. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Okay. So, all
I don't know enough about. I've never set
right.
foot in Delaware,
All
so I
right.
don't know.
Okay. So it's a
I
story.
just think of Wayne's World. That remember that scene where they're like, "We're in Delaware." Okay.
Party time. Excellent.
No, they're just like, no, for Delaware, they were like, okay, because they didn't know anything about Delaware.
Let's take a quick break from the politics and give a shout out to I want to see which Uihlein this is. I think it's Logan Uihlein. Yeah, Logan Uihlein. He's going to go to Miami of Ohio. He committed to play ball there. So that's a good
What ball? Football, basketball,
football.
football. Okay,
Yeah.
good for him.
The whole
Congratulations, Logan.
that family, man, they're all ballers. They're all
I don't know the sports history of Richard Uihlein or Liz Uihlein. This is, I think,
Scoop.
this is the grandson.
Hey, Scoo, I know you're not
Um,
watching or listening, but you could call in one time and clue us in on the U lines, or even Dick Uihlein. Is this his great grand?
Dick Uihlein doesn't do interviews. Just telling you that
Okay,
right now.
okay.
He
Is
just writes checks, buddy. Just writes the checks.
okay. Support the Lake Forest podcast, Mr. Uihlein. So, so is Logan his great grandkid or
Grandson. It's his grandson, is what
grandson?
I've
Okay,
been
okay.
told.
So shout out. I know
Yeah.
if I talk to him,
What
but
about your guy, John, that does all the Lake Forest athletic stuff? John Kerr? Maybe John Kerr knows.
uh, well, John Kerr was going to do today. He moved it to next week, so it'll be on next
Oh,
show.
all right.
We can ask him about it.
Sure.
And then hold on.
Oh, no. You okay?
Uh,
Getting over a bad cold?
yeah, I just somebody sent me a little link that I checked out, and it was the LF4, the number 4pt.com podcast. And um gotta listen to our guy Turkla doing that for about, I don't know, good amount of show. Did you happen to catch that?
Unfortunately, yes.
So I guess
What a waste of time.
they're having a slow news quarter.
Well, here's the deal. So they recorded because they make a very weird reference to Pearl Harbor in the show, somehow comparing what's going on in Lake Forest to Pearl Harbor, to the attack on Pearl Harbor. So they recorded the show on December 7th. They didn't post it till January 4th, I believe was the posting date we saw. And then no one saw it till you did, like last week. So
Wait,
if
wait a
a
minute.
tree if a tree falls in Lake Forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yeah, it does. It goes like this. Poor guy, man. Speedy, like,
More importantly, there really was nothing that came out of that. I think this was let's give our side to all of this because we've been taking a lot of crap from people like Pete Jansons and Joe Weiss on it. So let's give our side. There was nothing really groundbreaking in there that we haven't already heard from them, except they may have admitted to a couple campaign finance law violations
yeah, I was
in
going
that
to ask
show.
you
And
about
I
that.
don't,
You said May allegedly. Well, it's
so
not
they're not,
allegedly.
so they're
Seven.
not transparent. So, I have said many times on this show, and I even wrote a thing in the patch about it, um, that a group with the name transparency in it should be more transparent about where the money's coming from and how it's being spent. They've chosen not to do that. They've never filed anything with the State Board of Elections. They say they don't have to. They say they're not in the show. They say they're not a political organization. They're a 501c3. So that means people donating to them, that's a tax write-off. And the IRS doesn't really take too kindly to people making tax deductible donations to
Yeah.
something that's then being used for what is essentially a political cause.
Well,
They can say they're not political, but what they did, the campaign they ran against
they said
the
on the show
Caucus
that
Preservation Act was very political.
they approved Biden on
So,
the website 4 or 5 times, and they weren't promoting her. They were just defending her. What's the
and
difference?
they had her on their show. So there's a lot of hypocrisy in what they say and do. And like I said, I still think that any group that has the name transparency in it ought to be more transparent than what you're getting from these guys. All
Well,
right. And more importantly, Pete,
yeah.
at the end of that show, I didn't feel any more inclined to support their cause because to me, for me, and I think the vast majority of people in Lake Forest, the real issue is how's the quality of life for me with my city government? And my city government's doing a great job. No one from that group can tell me why Randy Tax shouldn't be mayor. No one can say to me, Randy Tax a bad mayor.
So if you're having a slow news 4 months, that's what you come up with. This is why we're doing this show.
I don't know if they're trying to warm things up look, they didn't run anybody for city council. There's all these seats up and they didn't run anybody for city council. So are they waiting till 2025 when Randy runs for reelection? Are they waiting for 2027 when Randy is term limited and there's a new, an open seat for mayor?
Yeah.
I don't know what their plans are, and they but they're not political, so they can't tell you. Wink, wink. They're not a political group, so that's why they don't have to file. And seriously, a 501c3. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have no idea.
That's tax deductible.
I should be a 501c3.
Well, but the IRS doesn't look too kindly on things like that.
No likey.
I'm going to say.
All right. So, people say, hey, why do you bring them up? I don't know, because I heard somebody brought it up to me, like whatever. And
they're probably going to get more views on their show from us mentioning it than.
Oh, here's to your 2 views.
Save you. Hey, Lake Forest podcast listeners, don't waste your time with that, with them. Pete and I just summarized the whole show in about 2 minutes.
It was a great, I think we had a parody out there, a commercial for Vicks, nasal spray.
Were your initial
hopefully
goals? What were you going to try to accomplish as Lake Forest for transparency?
Did Jennifer Karras find her cell phone?
This is going to sound really corny,
I hope she finds that cell phone. I'm really worried. She lost her cell phone when she was an alderman.
Really? How'd that?
John?
I don't know. She lost it. Because when there was that whole lawsuit going on, they wanted to see all the text messages of the aldermen to see if they were conducting themselves appropriately.
Oh.
She's like, I don't know what happened to my cell phone. I lost it. God, I hope she.
That's not very transparent.
I mean, that's expensive to when have you ever lost a cell phone? It's expensive.
No.
I mean, maybe T-Mobile or I don't know who her carrier is. It's the Verizon or
better
T-Mobile
version of.
Maybe they can help her out. Maybe they have to find a friend or whatever on there. There's that new theft protection. She said she lost her cell phone. I hope she finds it.
Is that what Hillary did, or just lost a server?
What I think we're doing on this podcast today is
she just wiped it clean. I don't.
Is that what Hillary did?
Goal,
how to throw away a presidential election by Hillary Clinton? I don't know. I can't remember. I've tried to block all that
out. Time today. Appreciate you being on your podcast.
Well, that was the whole Clinton mode of operation for years was, deny.
So you lose your cell phone, or you lose a server, or I don't know what happened, or is that same thing, right?
Apparently so. Maybe someone can look around. Maybe, I don't know what neighborhood she lives in offhand, but maybe we can put out a search party to help her find her cell phone. It's been a while now, but maybe it's still out there,
Yeah.
If this podcast had been going on when that happened, we could have done like a whole reward to find Jennifer Karras' cell phone.
Apple has a unique feature. If it was Apple, I don't know. If
it might have been an Android. I don't know.
Find my phone.
Yes. On the latest update, they put
delete the
protection thing.
Oh, those guys. I didn't hear any of them. The Prus, the Morrisons, the Garretts, that whole crew. Still haven't heard anything about them helping out these migrants.
Well, they're too busy trying to spin the last election into that they were attacked for partisan reasons instead of the other way around. But
well, like we said,
as they tried to say on that show on Pearl Harbor Day, that the partisan attacks against them. But that's historical revisionism.
Lake Forest is a bad town to be a dead horse, because you'll get the crap beat out of you.
You start a Democratic mega donor starts a campaign and names as her chairman and top supporter a former Democratic state senator, and woe is her that she's the subject of partisan attacks. And her supporters try to link Randy Tack to MAGA and Donald Trump and all this stuff. But woe is her that she's the victim of partisan attacks. Okay, right. I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you too.
I don't know. You don't want to have a bridge in China. Have you seen everybody, listeners and watchers, everybody that's worried about going to war with China? Okay. Russia cannot beat Ukraine. China is worse off than Russia.
I don't know about that one. I think China's
look it up.
There's a billion of them, Pete. Do you want to go to a war with a country of a billion people?
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I'm not defending what their government does. They do a lot of bad stuff.
I'm just saying right now, here.
You want to go to war with a country of a billion people? That's not going to end well for either,
I'm not saying
either country.
Hold on there. There's your next soundbite. I'm not saying to go to war with them. I'm saying that people that are worried about going to war with China, Russia cannot take care of Ukraine. China is worse off than Russia. That's all that I'm saying.
But is Russia losing in Ukraine because we're helping Ukraine?
I'm not saying they are or not, but let's just say China will not invade Taiwan. They have everything.
No, they won't.
They won't.
That's all.
Okay.
Because that would be stupid. I think Taiwan should be free, but that ruffles a lot of diplomatic feathers and stuff. But I mean, why should the people of Taiwan have to put up with I think why should the people of Hong Kong have to put up with being part of that awful government of China? Well, I mean, it's oppressive.
Dang Britain and colonialism screwed that all up. But people, the reason I bring it up is people should just go watch. Stay away from the network news. Go find people like us that are out there that are actually there talking about this stuff. China is in a lot of trouble, and this is the last day of January 2024. You heard it here first.
Okay. Well, the real estate, if they're heavily invested in real estate, commercial real estate, the commercial real estate market is,
well, whatever that company
on pins and needles
that went down. I went there, let's see, 15 years ago, I want to say. And
you went to China 15 years ago?
Something like that. That is correct. Yes.
Ooh, and, I never knew that.
Well, you have to go if you want to start. I have to double check. 2007, 17 years, something like that. You have to go out there and you want to open up a new office or something. You got to go meet with the officials. Okay. So the first thing is they had that 50-50 deal where you have to give up half of your money and all of your technology to these people. Okay. And they make you go out for dinner, gumbai, I think it's what it's called. They get you all hammered and then you sign the deal. Okay. That stuff is coming to roost.
Sounds very capitalistic to me. Get your clients drunk so they sign a deal. That happens here all the time. Go to Sophia's Steakhouse. There's guys cutting deals all the time over a good steak dinner and beer.
So everybody's, as far as I know, I do music now, so I try to stay away from the corporate world. But
I don't see you in the corporate world. I really don't.
Oh, the corporate world didn't see me.
That picture of you when you worked for Career Builder and you had your little tie on. Man.
No, it doesn't. It's
short hair, look very clean cut.
But underneath, what I'm saying is just people should take a look at China and see what's going on over there. Okay, because this is the Lake Forest podcast. Closer to home, did you see that lawsuit that Ravinia is
Yeah. I don't know. So Ravinia is suing the Ravinia Brewing Company over the use of the name Ravinia.
And the brewing company's in Chicago. It's in Logan Park. I talked to Kyle, I think his name is, and anybody that's got lawsuits going on, they don't want to, talk. But I'm like, why is Ravinia? Isn't Ravinia? Is that an actual name of a location, or that's a name of a business, or both?
I'm going to guess both. It's been there for like 100 years or something.
Yeah. But last I checked, the United States...
They should sue Metra next because there's a Ravinia stop on Metra. So maybe they should sue Metra.
Yeah, but last I checked, getting a trademark is pretty invasive, or not invasive, but it's a long, drawn-out process where the government does their due diligence and they make sure something's going on. And they had a trademark for Ravinia, Brewing Company. And I don't know and they had it, before the lawsuit. I'm not sure what the deal is, but is Ravinia hurting that bad? They got to mess with a small business in Chicago.
Well, they might, sometimes these companies, and trust me, they are a company, essentially. They are a business, but sometimes they want to protect their brand, right? And so they're going to say, hey, look, this brewing company is using our name and we have nothing to do with it. And what if the beer sucks? They're going to blame Ravinia. I don't know. That you see that a lot where companies just are saying, look, we don't want our name or our logo being associated with anything except for what we do because it's not our product. That said, maybe they're saying, hey, you're making money off our name. Stop. I don't know. I mean, but if they didn't trademark it and it was commonly used for years, and is it also a neighborhood? Like I said, there's a metro station called Ravinia. I mean, people sometimes call that the Ravinia area.
You want to get a trademark,
I don't know.
You have to say what your business is, and they were granted a trademark for doing the business as a brewery.
The brewing company got the trademark, not Ravinia Park or whatever.
I don't even know about Ravinia Park because good luck getting those guys coming on. I've only been there once in my life. Don't let me tell you about that story.
Did you have your Ravinia table from Crate and Barrel?
They frowned on me playing.
Yeah, I don't see you being a. Though Ravinia, actually, Ravinia used to be all classical music concerts, and now they got a lot of pop and rock stuff. I mean, they've had some pretty good artists the last few years.
Me thinks they must be under some type of, I don't know. They must be hurting to be able to, because they're going to put this small business, they're going to put them out of business. This little brewery out of business.
Well, or are people going to revolt and say, screw Ravinia, we're going to go to this business more?
Well, they're
not even are they in Highland Park, the business, or are they in Chicago?
Logan Square
in Chicago.
On Diversity, I believe. Yeah.
So they're not even close to, it's not like they're a bar. It's not like a bar across the street from Wrigley Field calling itself Wrigley Brewing Company.
So they have a GoFundMe page. They're trying to get 120 grand for legal fees. So whoever's listening, watching, and isn't a fan of Ravinia like myself, why don't you help these little guys out? Pay up.
That's going to cut into the Peter, Paul, and Mary concerts over there.
Oh, God. Or Yo-Yo Ma.
They've had, though, I mean, didn't they have they had some good names recently, and I don't have it in front of me.
You don't need good names. You just
have like Sheryl Crow or somebody. I mean, I think
you just need a nice kind of music to eat your cheese cubes.
Well, that's what they used to be, and I think people. I think the younger generation of North Shore professionals doesn't want to do that. They grew up with classic rock or alternative rock, Q101 music or whatever. I don't know.
Kids are like, I'm not going through that. That is just gotta. That's like the border.
And there's nothing wrong with classical music. It's very soothing. I sometimes, if I'm going to a stressful meeting in the car, I turn off Dan Proft and put on classical music.
Which reminds me, I got to listen to more Dan Proft. But getting out of Ravinia,
AM 560.
That's
they have an app. You can listen anywhere.
Trying to cross the border out of Mexico to the U.S., that's easier than getting out of Ravinia at a show. That one time I went, god awful.
It is, gosh, I haven't been there since the 90s. I'm trying to remember. It was weird. We parked at a metro station and then took the train one stop.
You know what Ravinia, I think, is trying to be, and it didn't work. Remember Poplar Creek?
Oh, yeah.
Up by Sears?
Out in Hoffman Estates, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Ravinia can't do that. We'll see.
They've been around a long time, man. And they got are they going to sue Crate and Barrel for the Ravinia tables? Maybe Crate and Barrel doesn't actually call them that. Ravinia or not Ravinia chairs, excuse me. There's Ravinia chairs, Ravinia tables, that you pack up and then bring to your picnic at Ravinia.
Elitist convention.
I used my Ravinia chair for the concert here in Lake Forest.
My Ravinia chair is in the bathroom. Hey, Ravinia, I know nobody's listening or watching. I could have this wrong, but to me,
they're going to sue you.
Oh, for what? I want to get the story straight.
We got some aggressive attorneys, apparently. I don't know.
But
you get paid by the hour, I bet.
Just, come on the show. I know you don't want to talk about pending lawsuits or whatever, but you can't say what your side is. That's all. Just trying to understand it. But for me, prima facie, first look, Joe, it looks to me like big guys picking on a corporate guys picking on a small business guy. Nah, just saying.
But could you open a restaurant called McDonald's?
Could I? No. But what is Ravinia? It's an entertainment complex, or is it because if you go do a trademark search and you can see all the stuff that's listed underneath there. The only thing I could see is that they're beefing about is I think the place in the city does live music too. So maybe that's where I don't know.
But who's gonna confuse a place in Highland Park with a place in Logan Square?
Hey,
seriously. Oh, I'm at Ravinia. Here I am at Ravinia in Logan Square. Yeah. Great.
Well, this wine sucks.
I mean, serious. I don't know. Maybe, they should have. Maybe they screwed up and they should have trademarked it years ago, and now they're trying to catch up. And some lawyer is trying to make a name for themselves. I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
You know what?
Trademark law is that's a whole field in itself.
That's why it's called a field. Either you're on the field or you're in the stands. So either the Ravinia in Logan Square or the Ravinia at Ravinia, if you guys want to come on and clue us in. At first glance, it looks like the corporates are picking on a little guy, and I'm a small business guy at heart, Joe.
I try to support small business any chance I can.
And that's a soundbite. Got it.
Yeah. Lake Forest podcast co-host tries to support small business any way he can.
You like the little logo I made of you, a Superman flying through the...
Yeah, what is that? You put it on last week's show during a couple lines that I said. I was trying to figure that out. What? Tell. Explain. You got some splaining to do, Lucy.
No, explaining. Anytime you do your sound bites, your political speak, there you are, flying through the air. Waving the flag.
I'm proud to wave the flag, man.
Yeah,
okay.
Another.
What, you're not? Are you not? You got something wrong with this country?
Oh, another debate.
Love it or leave it.
I love Canada. Speaking of Canada, we'll stop. People are crabbing about Texas. I've got a lot of people saying we should be watching Canada. More craps coming in from Canada than Texas.
Sure. You mean Mexico? No,
Canada.
I mean, but you said can't.
We have more.
You said more craps coming in through Texas. It's really from Mexico. So you're saying more craps coming in from the Canadian border than the Mexican border?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying
Texas.
Statewise.
There's other states that border Mexico besides Texas.
Then I would be a Minnesota problem, or it'd be a New York,
Wisconsin,
problem. Right? So you
Michigan, North Dakota.
But hold on, New York wouldn't do it. Wisconsin, is Wisconsin red?
They have a Democratic governor.
Minnesota's blue. Al Franken.
But they have a Republican legislature.
Wait, Al Franken's not the governor.
No, but Minnesota's blue.
Yeah. So
Minnesota is the only state that when Ronald Reagan won 49 states in 1984, the other state, the state he didn't win, was Minnesota.
So just saying a couple things. Don't worry about China so much. Worry about Wisconsin. Because Wisconsin's closer to Chicago than Austin, Texas.
But how does a migrant get from Latin America to Canada. How does that happen?
Nova Scotia?
It's a long swim, bud. I don't know. Those waters are pretty cold up there.
First of all, I'm only reading what people sent to me.
Yeah, no. Look, I think we're the only. I think most countries have a far more secure border than ours does. So I think, as I've said on previous shows, I think the vast majority of Americans of both parties think we need to have a stronger border. Now, I think Joe Biden has kind of said that the last couple of weeks, and he's blaming the House Republicans, saying, give me the money to do it. And they won't give me the money to do it because they want to win an election. I don't know. But why is it Donald Trump said I'm going to build a wall and Mexico will pay for it, and that didn't happen.
Well, maybe he's starting to ratchet things up. This stuff's going to come up, and we are here, Lake Forest podcast viewers and listeners. We are here for you, Ravinia listeners, watchers.
So we got that'll be on the Highland Park podcast, the Ravinia thing when you.
So when it's a slow news cycle, we can do other things than just saying. Joe, anything else?
You just doubled their viewership from 4 to 8.
Okay, let's go 16.
But comparing it to Pearl Harbor?
And they got the numbers wrong.
But comparing anything that the caucus, that you think the caucus did wrong to Pearl Harbor? What?
For those of you who do not like our tangents, we apologize. So let's beat the hell out of this dead horse and shut her down.
I hear the basketball team's doing well, so maybe John Kerr can shed some light. I don't know. I just heard they're doing well.
John Kerr, you got to clue us in. And then, Stu, I know you're not listening or watching. You could call it sometime and give your 2 cents. Matt Montgomery says it's okay.
You can talk sports.
Over and out, bud.
All right. Go Scouts.
Smell you. The Lake Forest podcast is supported by viewers, listeners, and businesses just like you. Looking for the best pool supplies? Look no further than Dohany's Pool Supplies. With a history dating back to 1967, this family-owned business offers everything families need to keep their pools clean and sparkling, from chemicals to equipment. Plus, customers enjoy free shipping on all orders. Visit Dohany's Pool Supplies today at doheny.com, DOHENY.com, to learn more. Broker Michelle Parno has lived and worked in Lake Forest for over 2 decades. Michelle's lending experience, when combined with her real estate expertise, makes her an invaluable asset to her clients as they navigate their home buying or selling process. Call Michelle now at 847-528-8721, 847-528-8721. For the best cannabis in the world, look no further than Iliad Epic Grow. Owned by Lake Bluff's own Rich Ruzich, they are a cannabis cultivation center focusing on hard-to-find small batch products that will delight both the occasional user and ganjier. When visiting Michigan, ask for it by name. Epic Products, exceptional process. For more information, email info@iliadgrow.com. Laracy & Company CPAs, founded in 2010 by Lake Forest's own Brian Laracy, specializes in tax preparation and bookkeeping services. Earning the People Love Us on Yelp award, their process is straightforward. Just upload, review, and file. For a free quote, visit LaracyCPA.com now. That's LARISEYCPA.com. I'm excited to share with you something special from our Lake Forest community, the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa, located at 775 North Bank Lane in Lake Forest near Wisconsin Avenue. This just isn't any spa. They offer an amazing blend of traditional spa services plus the added benefit of medical procedures and treatments. In a relaxing and luxurious spa environment, you can enjoy a range of cosmetic and aesthetic treatments. These are all performed under the supervision of top medical professionals. The Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa provides skin care, facial rejuvenation, body contouring, laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, chemical peels, and much more. What's great is that each treatment is tailored not just to enhance your appearance, but also to address specific skin concerns and to promote overall well-being. So if you're looking to pamper yourself and take your beauty routine to the next level, give the Aesthetic Lounge Med Spa a call at 224-768-8028 or visit them at their location on North Bank Lane. It's an experience your skin will thank you for. We'd also like to say we're thankful for our Patreon supporters, Otto, John C., Helen, Herrick, and J.M.